Hi, I'm Jodi Liston, president and founder of the Liston Education Group. I'm an educational and clinical consultant working with families both locally in the tri-state area and throughout the United States. So a trend that we're seeing right now is really in school refusal, school avoidance, school anxiety. And it really seems to have amplified since COVID. A lot of the clients that we see, for a variety of reasons, whether it's school avoidance or learning challenges or behavior challenges, since COVID seems to have been amplified. I think part of the reason for that is that so many kids were really impacted by the disruption in their learning environment, and in their neurodevelopmental or social emotional development. The things that would naturally be occurring when we go to school and we engage with our teachers and we engage with other students, our peers, was disrupted in a really unnatural way. And that was whether you were in preschool or kindergarten or all the way 10th, 11th, 12th grade, right? The preparedness for going off to college. Or if we look at middle school, the preparedness for going to high school. And the things that we organically learn how to do, we learn how to learn. We learn how to be a friend. We learn how to have relationships. Those things were unnaturally disrupted during COVID. And we are now, multiple years later, really seeing the evolution of the fallout of that period of time. So many kids are saying, I don't like going to school. I'm not smart. I can't learn. Kids are mean to me, right? And we see a lot of somatic illnesses. They're not feeling well, so they're then unable to go to school. And it's turned into kids really wanting to stay at home and do their learning. The other side of that is there are a number of children who couldn't learn online and needed that direct instruction. And for them, they just shut down during COVID, and they just simply didn't learn because that learning environment, an online learning environment, was not the way they learn, right? We all have different learning styles, auditory or visual, right? And so for a kid who needs that one-on-one interaction in a classroom and for a year and a half was subject to learning at home, they essentially didn't learn. And then going back to school was really uncomfortable. So there's a number of different scenarios that we're seeing: school avoidance, school refusal, school anxiety. And yes, we saw it before COVID, but the numbers that we're seeing now have increased dramatically. One of the first things that we discuss with parents when they have a child who's struggling with school avoidance or school anxiety is to really understand which was it? Was it that the learning environment of online was the contributing factor? And are they simply lacking in that foundational education they needed to move, whether it was from kindergarten to first, from third to fourth, from whatever the number is? Or is it that they really do have a significant anxiety being in the classroom? They are uncomfortable because they're just experiencing distress with all of that stimulation happening in the classroom, and or they really feel that they don't get it. They're just not understanding. And then, of course, there could be the social emotional component. They're just, because they didn't learn how to have that social piece, they're really just uncomfortable in that social environment. We have to dig down and explore. We have to talk with the teacher and understand what the child looks like in the classroom. We want to talk with the parents. We love to meet your son or daughter specifically and just get a feel or a sense for them and their personality. We might want to speak with a professional if you've had one involved in their lives, right? We might want to speak with a a therapist or some other professional person that's involved, because we need to understand what the core is so that we can then recommend how to fix the situation. And that could be adding supports and services in the classroom. It could be adding a coach, a parent coach, to help you coach your child. It could be a specific coach for the child where they have a person other than you and not a therapist that helps them manage the day-to-day, sort of the coping skills of being able to get back in and stay in a classroom and learn, or to manage the social aspects. Or perhaps we need to add a tutor or an executive functioning coach. So we need to really explore what the core issue is going on, and then we start to layer in the pieces of how to help. So when we work with a family, we offer something when it's local called clinical case management. And that's where we're utilizing our resources to help a family pull any of those examples: coaching, tutoring, all the family support services, special education advocacy, meeting with your school district, developing a 504 or an IEP if necessary. We're able to pull all of those resources together, make all of those introductions, attend all of those meetings, and really work one-on-one hand-holding with a family to ensure that over, anywhere from 1 to 3 months, we're really getting things in place. And then, of course, we're available to stay on board and make sure as things have come into place, they're all working as they should be. But we do offer a number of different levels of service where we can not only make those introductions, but really be helpful in facilitating the full plan in its execution.